What's up, everybody? Tronzilla here again. Today we're going to talk about the 315 release now that it's in live. I'm sure a lot of people are excited about it. I am myself. Today I want to go over just some of the things we've been encountering in the 315 live release. So a lot of things, similar things that we ran into in the PTU. Anybody that played in the PTU, just to get a little jump start on this, like I did, you'll know some of these items as well. But as you're, running through these cities, I noticed that the performance seems much better. We'll get into that a little bit more as we talk about the 30k protection. But performance overall, like even in New Babbage, was much better. In the PTU, it was a little shaky up until those last couple of releases. So I'm happy to see that it's, working well. Not too bad. Like I wasn't getting out of the bed on the wrong side, falling through the side of the skyscraper, basically. One of the major things you'll run into is inventory when you first get in there. We talked about this in the last video. I haven't seen too many updates to this. One thing I have been struggling with it is once you have items separated, there's no way of putting them back together. Like a lot of games, you'd expect that inventory to just stack, at least certain items. Like the bottles of water, if you buy, multiple at once, they'll go into your inventory in a stack. If you split them, they'll never go back together, type of deal. At least I don't know how to do it. Maybe I just am being dense and not finding it, but that is the deal. I just but other than that, I think it's working fairly well. I haven't had too many trip problems. Every once in a while it'll get like stuck where you gotta like close out of inventory and open it back up, but for the most part everything's working. Now with that, I definitely recommend still having a little stash spot at each location. It's definitely gonna help if you're in a pinch and you happen to become incapacitated and lose your equipment out there, because it's still the same way. You're losing everything when you die. You're respawning at one of these clinics here. Now, as far as the clinics go, say you just get injured, you can come up to these patient registration panels and check in. That will open or unlock one of the rooms in the back for you. If any of you have explored in here a little bit, you'll notice that there's like hospital rooms or beds that you can go to. Now, these panels will unlock those doors. So this just unlocked door 3 for me, or room 3 rather. So if you end up getting an actual injury, you'll have to come over to one of these rooms and jump in one of these beds in that patient room. If you just lie down in it, I believe it fixes all the injuries. I haven't actually been injured in 315 Live just yet to test it, but you can come into this panel. The regeneration option will let you choose this location as your respawn point if you do happen to die. And then the medical care panel will let you go in and view like treatments and things like that. It's fairly decent layout what they did. I like it. It's kind of gives you like a graphical display of your body. It shows you the statuses, like if you had any injuries, treatment plans, and then the medication, I believe would be related to the treatment recommendations on that panel. But at the moment, it's like I said, I haven't been injured just yet. From what I understand, when you lay down and then it fixes, like if your health is down, it does go back to 100%, things like that. But aside from that, you can get the medical, like I believe they call it the paramed gun. At least their paramed refills is the equipment that you get for it. And you can get those at the pharmacies. Yeah, you'll see that there's a clinic or a hospital at just about every location. I haven't been to one that doesn't have a clinic in it, at least. And every one of those will have a pharmacy available somewhere. There'll be a couple of panels. This one happens to be just inside the door. And when you look at this panel, there's under the miscellaneous tab, you can get the adrenal pen, like all the various pens that you can self-administer. There's new ones like with various effect types depending on what your injury is. You can tell that they're starting to like think widely on like what types of injuries you can run into, and those treatments may correspond to various drugs that you need in different amounts. So you can get those in the individual like cartridges to administer. Like there's like a painkiller, a steroid, there's Hemazole, which we've all used as med pens in the past, and things like that. Now these are less effective, at least in my opinion. Like I've like you never know what you need, so I just end up choosing the med pen all the time. Like I don't know, that at least that's what I've done. Like maybe I might start rolling with one of the OP pens or whatever they're called, or Oxy pen, just in case. But I haven't tried anything other than the med pen to self-administer. I've always just used the med gun or had somebody there with it. Now they did add an attachment to work with the multi-tool. As you can see there, it's that lifeguard, and then the paramed is for the new medical gun. The lifeguard, I believe, is has less options. Like you can't just administer any drug, where the paramed gun will let you choose any of those drugs that we saw with the self-administered cartridges. It gives you the option to choose those in various amounts that you want to deploy to the person if they are downed. You can maybe based on the recommendations. Like I said, I haven't gotten too far into that gameplay just yet. But as far as like the actual medical rescue missions themselves, they are a blast. I recommend doing it with multiple people. Like we were rolling with a large crew, so it was a lot of fun. We weren't making much money at all, but it was we were probably spending more than making actually. But it was a great time. A lot of the rescues we've run into so far have been solos doing missions, going down and during those missions. A couple of them have paid us on top of the mission, and that's actually helped quite a bit, but those are the only ones that we kind of made any money on. But aside from that, you know, like I said, it's a blast, but it's not a great money maker in my opinion. One of the other great things is, like I mentioned before, is like server performance. It's been great. We've only had 130k, and this is actually the 130k I've run into since live's gone, or since 315's gone live rather. And as far as, like, we weren't hauling goods at this time, but the 30k recovery, it should be in the 315 live release. From our experience in PTU, if you were hauling goods and experienced a 30k, the protection basically would put the ship with the contents back in the hangar, or like wouldn't be in like a claim state, so you wouldn't lose those goods. You could get back to that ship, from, you know, at least from what I was understanding from it. But aside from that, performance has been great. I haven't had too many problems. Like the first day it was a little shaky. It was probably just because there's, you know, a million people jumping on, but that's you know, it's been good. As far as what I've been doing, I've been clearly doing exactly what I said. Going out, grab the Cutlass Black. I did a few missions just to get some money to rent the ships. Got the Cutlass Black, did a couple bounty missions just to get going, and of course I got into the Prospector to go out and do some mining. I've been mining on Lyria still. That's one of my favorite spots, but I've also been checking out a couple of spots in Microtech, because I noticed that doing some of the missions in medical, that there's a lot of nodes spawning in Clio, so I started checking that out too. It's been okay so far. I haven't found like any great amounts of Quantanium, but other than that, things have been going well in that regards. I haven't noticed any new problems necessarily with mining since outside of what I experienced in the PTU anyway. So like the hood's still a little bright when mining, like actually going up and have the mining tool out. You'll notice that the hood, it's like, I don't know, at least for me it seems really bright. Maybe it's just me. There's also issues with I mean, it's not necessarily an issue. It's the Lancet mining head. You can't just buy that at ARCL1 anymore. That's like where, if you watch any of my previous videos, I go a lot to bring back my mine materials. You can't buy that Lancet mining head, which is crucial for mining Quantanium. At least in my opinion, it's the best one out there. So you have to get that from New Babbage. That's at least the only place I've seen it so far. But you can also notice here that the Prospector is still broken as far as getting out. If you're the male character, you will have to sprint and jump and hit prone at the same time at the back of the seat to fall out, or you will get stuck in there. That's been a problem pretty much the whole PTU, at least from what I noticed. I didn't mind the first few days I got on there. I just was doing like ground missions and things like that. But outside of that, though, everything's running normally. One other thing I noticed is I did try a few different of these types of mining methods, and they were all costing the same, so I'm not entirely sure what's going on there. So I'm just going to go with high yield and the fastest result and not worry about the money for now, because the quotes are all the same. Might have just been because of how many orders they have right now. They're at like 49,000% work order, but other than that, the rentals are still available here. Prospector is the 51,000. It was lower in the PTU, but now it's back to the 51,000. And the Cutlass Black is the 34. But all in all, I've been having a great time in 315. The medical missions, just multi-crewing those, has been a great experience. Highly recommend getting a crew together once you have some, a base under you, a little money. Definitely go out and multi-crew some missions or do something with others. It just makes everything so much better. But I hope people are enjoying these, gain something. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you later.